I would like to call on Peter Robertson, former Vice-Chair of Chevron and Chair of the House's most recent capital campaign, to share a few words to enhance our evening. So Peter, please come on up and share those words. Thank you so much.
So he was doing great until he said to enhance your evening. I'm not sure. So thank you, Hans, I appreciate that, and good evening to all of you, and let me add my thanks to all of you for being here tonight. I'm not sure what message we're giving when you drag all these people in kilts up here. Perhaps you're supposed to feel sorry for us that we can't afford a decent pair of pants, or trousers, I should say, and you'll be more inclined to contribute to a very good cause which needs your support. Perhaps it's just to show you what really ugly knees look like. But for whatever reason, I'm here tonight, and I think I'm here tonight because I really believe in the mission of this place. And I don't think it's a coincidence that remarkable leaders like Wendy and Ashok, and impressive young leaders for the future, like the students and recent alumni that you've heard from tonight, are all affiliated with the iHouse. What we offer here is a critical component of what one needs to be a great leader in the world in the past, and ever more so in the world of the future. So I've spent a decade on the board of this place, and I've learned that the people and the lessons fostered here at the iHouse really do contribute to a world of greater understanding, and by extension to the best chance we have of a more peaceful world. And of course, that is our stated mission. In a recent Economist magazine article, the author wrote, and I'm quoting, "Misunderstandings rooted in cultural differences present the greatest obstacle to cross-border collaboration." Misunderstandings rooted in cultural differences present the greatest obstacle to cross-border collaboration. Every day, little steps mitigating some of these misunderstandings happen here in the iHouse, in the hallway, in the dining room, in the laundry room, and I dare say in lots of other places too. But back in 2009, when I stepped down as Vice Chairman of Chevron, my wife Candy and I had the opportunity to direct a significant leadership gift to the organization of our choosing, and we chose iHouse. This remarkable place is an investment in the future, where scholarships help to ensure that some of the best and brightest minds from around the world are well versed in cultural differences and an appreciation for our common humanity. Of course, this beautiful building still needs some physical improvements, and it needs lots of tender loving care. And I'm thinking especially of the dining hall, where people break bread and debate and, as has already been pointed out, sometimes fall in love. And all that takes money. But I'm particularly excited. The love part actually doesn't take much money, but the building does. But I'm particularly excited that our initial investment from a few years ago is now taking shape as a more formal center for intercultural leadership, a place we hope will serve all of campus as a nexus of experience and learning that builds skills for future leaders. The center is already running programs, and we have exciting plans for the future. One of the programs is called the Intercultural Leadership Initiative, or ILI. And I'd like to quote a couple of students who have been through this program here at the center. Susie is from Germany. And after her stay here at Berkeley, she got a job with a Japanese company in their London office. You got it. Her job is, but it gets better. Her job is to help them break into the German market. So she says, and I'm quoting her, she says, "I'm happy to say that I found a really good job, which is exactly what I've been looking for in terms of international business. I am finding now more than ever how useful the ILI training has been. I love to utilize my cross-cultural training, especially when it comes to mediating between my Japanese colleagues, my European colleagues, and then the Berliners, who are special unto themselves." Now, I'm not quite sure what she meant by that. But anyway, she's getting some value out of the intercultural training that she got here at iHouse, along with everything else that she learned at Berkeley and in her studies. Another resident, interestingly, wrote, "As an American in the program, having the chance to learn from other ILI participants about how they have experienced American culture has forced me to consider aspects of my own culture from a variety of vantage points. There are dimensions of American culture that I never would have been sensitive to." Well, you can believe that. There are dimensions of American culture that I never would have been sensitive to if not for this, and I consider it to be one of the most beneficial aspects of my time at iHouse, the ILI program. So what can I add? We're all going to be very proud of the work that Hans and his team are doing in this Center for Intercultural, I keep saying that, our Center for Intercultural Leadership. And tonight is part of our success, but the future of iHouse requires sustained engagement by all of us. So I invite you to join me as a leadership contributor, as a volunteer, and as a champion for iHouse. You all know how to make gifts online. There's a couple folks down in the front row here that know how to do it online if you don't know how to do it, but I'm sure you do. You all know how to make gifts online, but when the next email or newsletter or staff contact comes, I hope you'll recall our words about the importance of what Hans and his team are doing here today. Or maybe you'll remember the voice of a scholarship student like Gavin and what a difference a remarkably small amount of money can make at a critical time in a young leader's life. Or maybe you'll recall the quotes on the value of intercultural leadership training. Or maybe you'll just remember that us poor Scots could use a good pair of trousers. But whatever way you remember it, know that when you're watching the news, focusing on the worst of the world's problems, know that an important cross-section of the people who can make a difference pass through this place, and we can help them with some of the most important skills that they will need to make a real difference. I believe this. And with that, I'll let the raffle crowd take the podium and repeat my thanks. Good night to all of you.
Peter Robertson, thank you so much for that warm and wonderful description of what iHouse actually does for the residents who live here.